Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Oh my gosh, when is this man gonna finally just. Okay, well, now I just saw that with the White House, they are going to make English our nation's language and everything. And it's just like stolen land. Stolen land. Then you stole some people to build this land. Yes, like Americans are like colonialism is all about stealing. They always want to blame black people for stealing stuff, but uh yeah, you guys stole a bunch of land, you took over a bunch of land. You keep stealing people's ideas and people's belongings and everything for your gratitude, benefit, capitalism, money, just but then you go to church the very next Sunday, or even Bible study or midweek service just to get some bonus points in that gold star, right? But yeah, you're trying to make English the language when what about the Native Americans? Native Americans, the first people on this land, that is not their language. And that is one reason why we don't. If, with the diversity and with the way this country was built. And it's like people keep saying, oh, he wants to go with the Constitution. It's all about but now he's breaking almost everything about the Constitution. He's breaking almost everything about how this country was built. And yes, it took years for a lot of people to get their rights. But over time, once we got the rights, over time when diversity was more welcomed, now it's not welcomed because a lot of basic white men who didn't try, a lot of like, and it's like it's only gonna hurt if I'm talking about you, but it's like, and some people might say, oh, you're being too hard on. No, I'm not. I've dated basic white men, and that's one reason why I am fine with like just meeting, make kind of dating, but not dating, because I keep running into the basic ones, basic men, period, but especially the basic white men. It hurts them the most when I talk about my education, when I talk about my goals of writing books and like in my projects and like do you know how many Davids I met who a lot of Davids have very sensitive egos because since I broke up with Mr. No Heart, who is such an extremely basic, like just listen to the videos, you will tell he is very basic. And I think that's one reason why not only him, but his mother were so jealous, upset, and determined to tear me down. It's like, because I've said it so many times with what his mom would say. Oh, like when something was on the news about a crime and it was by an African American. Oh, well, at least you're not one of them, or shoplifting or whatever. Oh, well, at least you weren't nearby. It's like, yeah, you probably would have ended up like doing what they're doing. Like, what? With college, the only reason you got into college is because you're black. When I got a new position, oh, they only hired you because you're black. There's probably no one else that is black in, and probably part of me would have been like, okay, so if there's no black people with that position, that would have been okay though. It's like, shouldn't you be asking yourself why isn't anybody that is African American having a position like this? But anyway, it's just crazy how they keep saying he's not racist, he's not a bigot. Listen to the history, especially with his apartments and how he didn't want any African Americans, like literally redlining. And remember the Park Five guys. It's like had paid for a full page like article, front page and everything. Well, if they didn't do this, we know they did something wrong. Later found out, like, because they ended up in prison, but then got let out because they were found innocent. They were innocent of the crime. They shouldn't have been in prison in the first place. And did this orange man ever like ask for forgiveness? No, he did not. No, he did not. And it's like, what did he say about Africa? Called it an S-hole country. What does he say about the Hispanic community? Say they're just grapers and criminals and no goods and people from prison and they're crazy and it's but it's really like sometimes when especially the Hispanic men write me on dating apps, well, we could still date. I'm voting for the orange guy. I love the orange guy, but you can't stop me from doing that. But I'm still interested in you. I still want to date you. But the top thing, and this is one reason why, like some people wonder, why do I have so many hate messages in my dating apps or whatever? Because the first thing I say is like, we can be friends if you don't meet the following. And like a lot of people can't read either. Oh, you mean even to be friends, I have to meet all of these requirements? Idiot. No. Okay, come on, read this together. Let's read this slowly. Like, yeah, yeah, America average reading level is around third to fifth grade, and you're proving my point, right? Yeah, you're proving that fact right now. But anyway, and that's another thing. It's like you want English to be the standard language and everything like that, but we still have a reading level around third to fifth grade. But then we have other people from other countries who can speak three to five other languages. And yes, sometimes they may have a hard time with some of the English language or they may speak a little slower, but it's because they know so many other languages. And I give them credit for that because, yeah, mm, yeah, that's not my strong suit whatsoever. But, and I mean, and the thing is, like, when I was in fifth grade, I had to be in this test, like a hospital test or whatever. It was a study, and they found out that I was in fifth grade and I was at 11 or 11.5 reading level. So it's like I was like I think the doctor and my mom were surprised and everything, and because yeah, my teacher didn't think much of me that year. So no, was it fifth grade or fourth grade? It was third or fourth. I know it wasn't fifth grade. It was third or fourth grade. Because yeah, that was the year like my teacher didn't think much of me at all. And I remember my mom went to parent teacher conferences and showed that teacher the test. You know, it wasn't fifth grade. No, oh damn. And I had to split the money with my sister too. I'm just like, she didn't do a daggone thing and she gets half the money. I like she gets half of it. It's like, couldn't you have given her some money? That's not like and that because yeah, later in life, like with me dragging my feet and wearing out my shoes, I had to pay for those shoes out of my pocket because doctors kept telling my mom it was my fault. So yeah, I'm off topic, but remember my YouTube channels are as messy as my life, so you'll get over it. But anyway, it's just I was at a high reading level because it's like, especially over the summer, our mom took us to the library. We were in the book reading programs, and it's like I loved reading Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. They had like they both had their own series, but then they had combo series and stuff. Oh, I was reading those left and right, and I loved it's like and yeah, that's one reason why a lot of my books are mystery, but urban fantasy mystery. Anyway, it's like when I was teaching my first graders, I was working on phonics, like we had the phonics detectives and letter investigation, and like yeah, it's like we ended up I turned that into a mystery too. So because I remember one time where it's like, well, I did it a few times, but I remember with the letter I, it was the funniest because I would have like I would cut out a thick version of that letter and put it on the carpet like it was a law and order scene or whatever. And I'm like, okay, here is our like victim and blah blah blah. It's like, okay guys, we gotta write this letter and everything and stuff. And I remember one of the teachers came in and they just started laughing. They're like, oh my gosh, did you just turn um Sesame Street into Law and Order? And I was like, yeah, kind of, with a little of the Magic School Bus. Yes, yes, I did. And so, but I don't know. It's just we have a long ways to go when it comes to having our own citizens be able to read and write. You want to make our country have the standardized like English, like, but and at the same time, this is stolen land. The native languages should be like part of this because like you're literally trying to steal anything and every identity away from people of color. And I know that is the, well, in my opinion, that is the point of what they are trying to do. But at the same time, they're just proving their hate more and more. And a lot of people are praising their hate. They're just like, yes, yes, do more of this, be more racist, have more racism. We was like, and a lot of a lot of Republicans keep trying to tell me we're not a racist country. Republicans aren't racist. And first, you need to know what the definition of racism is and racist, ableism, and all that stuff is. Because do you know how many Republicans tell me I am racist because I will not date a Republican? Do you know how many? It's appalling. It's disgusting. It's stupid. It's just idiotic. And it just shows how poorly uneducated they are because Republican is not a race. Republican is not a race. Anybody can be Republican. Like I am supposed to be, or like, because the church I go to, the way they were brainwashing and the way that every election they would invite all of the Republican candidates to the church and tell us to vote for these people, and they would have each one have a mini speech and everything before the sermon and stuff like that. Yeah, I and then a lot of times when I say I am a Democrat to other Christians, they tell me, you're a Christian. You're supposed to vote Republican. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're sinning just for voting for Okay. All right. All right. While the person that you're voting for, the person that you're jumping up and down for, literally brags about grabbing women by the what? Grabbing women by the what? Yeah, use that English language. And that's another thing. He wants to take away the Department of Education, but he wants the standardized language to be English when, again, our average reading level is third to fifth grade. It's like, shouldn't we make sure, like, it's like, I'm just baffled and everything because it's just like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, you want to take away education, but at the same time, you want to make this a standardized language. Huh. And then even with American Sign Language, is that the same? Because there's actually Black Sign Language too. Yeah, it's like, yeah, to end African American Month, I gotta slide that in because there's different variations of American Sign Language. Because especially during slave times and the burning of Black Wall Street and the flooding of cities, because there's 15 flooded. I'm gonna keep saying it because a lot of people, they don't know their history. They keep saying slavery is over. Do you know all of the other things African Americans have gone through? And it's like, you guys hardly even know about segregation. A lot of people keep saying segregation. That was so long ago. My parents went through segregation. It wasn't that long ago. But then It's like the importance of language and the importance of knowing more than one language. And it's like, again, with how this country was founded, I'm going to keep saying stolen land. And part of me feels like we should have some of the Native American languages taught in the classrooms, especially depending on what state you live in or what area. We should learn the language of the native or where the native land, because that is important. That is important because this is stolen, taken land. And then you went and stole from people to build this land. And so a lot of us don't know our native language. It's like I have no idea what part of Africa. I don't have any idea what languages I should know or learn because it's stolen land. You stole my ancestors. And so it's just crazy because like with this country and the reputation of this country, because even with almost every demographic, because oh yeah, I need to go over some of the other racism, because remember the whole kung flu situation and how they kept harming people like Asian Americans and everything like that. Yeah, and it's just he has said and spoke, and then oh, he's doing the Muslim ban 2.0 right now, and now ICE is targeting those that are Middle Eastern and everything. Oh, and then oh yeah, he's giving that golden ticket, $5 million to come to this country as legal citizens. Are they going to be English speakers? Are they? Is that going to be like, because what, since you're having that as a standard language, it's like, if they come here not knowing English, like, are you going to have special English classes, or what are you going to do? What are you going to do to help that? Because I don't know, it's just like, I've been disgusted by him and everything from day one. And because even with The Apprentice, I was like, I kept seeing certain things and things that I'm just like, he's grimy, he's dirt, like, and his children. It's just, I remember I was talking to somebody, I think it was a promotional model, because they were saying how much they loved the show, or they were excited that it was coming on. And I was just like, no, I don't watch that mess. And they're like, why? And I started saying, and they're like, oh, you're just, but then it was like the next year, I think I was in Chicago. I was out of state, but not too far. Indiana or yeah, I was in Illinois or Indiana. I forgot which one. Cause yeah, I've been in quite a few. Like I haven't been all over the U.S. whatever, um, but anyway, I ran into them at a festival because they were working one client, I was working another, but our stations were not too far. And I remember they came up to me and told me, I get it. I get it now. I understand what you were talking about. And I'm like, finally, okay. And they were like, yeah, I can't watch that show anymore because, like, after you said that, and it's like a couple episodes later, I was just like, huh, I see what she was talking about. I see it's like, and it's like the more and more I was watching, I was like, I get it. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. I'm not crazy. And I was like, I've studied like cultural anthropology, body language, and things like that for a reason. And oh, another thing, a lot of the English language is based off of other dialects from other countries and languages. So, and English is one of the simplest languages, and like one reason why a lot of people think Asians are smarter than us is like there's been a study, if I can find the different studies that prove this, but since their language, like more difficult your language is, like the more your brain triggers, because it's like the more room you need in order to learn the language, and the more creative you have to be able to learn. And so, like with Mandarin, it's like they don't have an alphabet. They have like their type of picture type of words. And you have to remember each one and even write them within the lines in a certain order and everything. And so the complexity of all of that is like that's one reason why they are able to do especially a lot of mathematical or engineering type topics better because of the complexity of the language. And so part of me feels like we shouldn't have English as the standard. Like we should be welcoming and wanting to learn more complex languages and more languages period, because the more languages you know, the more information you're able to like absorb, and the more willing and the more ability you will have to like invent and create, because it's like you're the more languages and the more dialects you're able to absorb, the more creative you are, because you have to be creative with each way and style that you learn the different languages and stuff. So, and I don't know, I'm just annoyed with this. And some people might be like, that's a good thing. It's a good thing because most other countries have it standardized. But you have to remember the history of America, how it was stolen and built and taken over, and then all of the racism, hatred, and things that they have done. And also, this is only to appease to the far right, the MAGA bigots, the hatred of like basically the hate groups, period. They want this because English means European. And who comes from European? Non people of color, non black. And so, like, a lot, like taking away DEI and taking away, like, so many things where people like myself, it's like people are like, oh, well, it's like DEI, that just means they hired a black person or they hired a person of color. They didn't deserve the job that you were just given. No. And it's like in the poor education that people, and that's the thing. He is diving into all of the areas where people are poorly educated. If you knew the power of language, the power of linguistics, the power of studying something more than of yourself. But a lot of the MAGA right, they only want to know about European. They only want to know about themselves. They only want to include people like themselves because they don't think people who are different than them are worthy, are worth it. Even though they say, quote unquote, all lives matter. No, they were just jealous. They were just hateful that black people were fighting for their rights and like targeting how like the corruption and the awful treatment that the cops were giving us. It's like I've told you guys my cop stories. And yes, I'm hopping around to different areas, but when it comes to language, it is so significant because even through like slavery and everything, there were certain languages and certain symbols and things that helped the slaves be able to get to freedom. And it's like with the slaves and like throughout time, excuse me, the different languages and different types of communications were highly like just they were in need so much. And like when Native Americans were helping with that as well, helping the slaves get to freedom, get to land, get to resources, because they were helping too. But they don't want to, yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's just now they're just trying to make this, because part of me wonders, what are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? So many people, oh, he's not racist. Oh, he's not this. He's not a bigot. He's not. Oh, he's so lovely. Oh, we praise him. Oh, he's the next coming up. Oh, well, okay. I might throw up with the thought of that. Ill. But we need to know the history of. We just need to know. There's so many things we need to know, but it's like because they whitewash. I mean, even the way they whitewash our history, it's like it's disgusting and it's awful. And that's one reason why, like, I'm gonna mention like them trying to get rid of like the Board of Education, the Department of Education. It's like, so you're going to make English a standardized language, but you're gonna take away the way that like that's gonna help and assist, and at the same time, our average reading and there are so many people who are illiterate here, so might want to work on that too. Might want to work on that too. And what are they going to do for people who don't speak English? What are they going to do? Because again, this country was built as it's supposedly to be a melting pot, but lately they're kicking out people like in a rush, in a hurry. It's like they keep saying, "Oh, we're kicking out the criminals." No, you're not. No, you're not. It's like I just saw a story where they kicked out a Middle Eastern couple that owned a business. They were paying taxes, owned a business. Because now part of me is like, what's going to happen to the business? And like, what about their kids? Do they have kids? What's going to happen with them? And they're citizens, so are you going to deport citizens? So like, I have so many questions with that. But the majority, if you see what is going on, there's a pattern with what's going on, because he really wants the white South Africans. He really wants the the white South Africans. So pay attention. It's like the more things he is doing, pay attention. And the thing is, he's doing it in such a rush. He's doing like 5 or 6 crazy, annoying, bigoted things at the same time to catch your attention, because he knows you're not going to catch everything at once. He knows it. And a lot of people are not going to listen to certain people like myself. They're like, oh, you're making a big thing out of nothing. Oh, well, this is just, oh, you know how he is. Oh, he's just making America, he's making it bigoted again. That's what he's doing. Like, when a lot of people say the whole MAGA thing, no, that means, like, if you agree with what he's doing, in my opinion, you're just a bigot. Because, like, you just want to make this country bigoted again. That's straight to the point. And it's like, because you voted and agreed with the hate groups, you're cheering on the hate groups because they just caught a guy, one of the senior people of ICE, with his social media. He was saying all types of racist things. And they keep catching, like lately, they keep catching ICE and police officers that have more than one social media. One is, oh yeah, look, I'm so nice and innocent, I'm just a police officer. But then or I'm another type, like even judge and different stuff. But then they have another, I'm as racist as I want to be. It's like, I don't like these people. White is but like this, and all this other garbage or whatever. Pay attention. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too, and we should be able to speak any language on this stolen land. This is stolen land.